Poland are adding a video game to the school curriculum, Smash Bros. Emulation is getting even better, an online game has been hacked, EA tells us they're going to make even more money, and women in the gaming industry are speaking out against abuse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes. This is Daily Strife, the daily gaming update show where we talk about geeky gossip and nerdy news. It is June the 24th, 2020. Let's see what's going on in the world of nerd. Recommended reading lists in schools. Do you remember English lessons where you were forced to sit in a quiet room in rows with other people and slowly read through a book? You know, if you had a good English teacher, they'd do the voices and they'd make it all exciting and it would be brilliant and dramatic. Or you'd go around the class and everyone would read a little paragraph and you'd hope to be the person that got the small paragraph. Or you'd be the one drama kid like me who was overly dramatic with everything they read. Or you'd read several pages ahead and when it got to your turn to read, you'd have to jump back. You know, the kind of books like Of Mice and Men, The Great Gatsby, Shakespeare, stuff like that. Well, Poland is the first country in the world to add a video game to the recommended reading list. The game is This War of Mine. Now, in This War of Mine, the Steam page explains that you don't play as an elite soldier or some kind of special forces commando. Instead, you as a player take control of the regular, unarmed, vulnerable citizens in a war-torn city, and you have to lead them to safety. The game explores the idea that war isn't all heroics and medals. It's not all Ramirez defending Burgertown. Sometimes it's trying to get innocent, weak, vulnerable and hurt people out of an extremely dangerous, extremely scary situation. War is a brutal, terrible thing, and the suffering of the regular person in This War of Mine is on horrific display. Now, the argument that video games aren't art has raged for years, and hopefully this move by the Polish Education Authority will let people see that tightly constructed stories and interesting, valuable narratives aren't just found in the printed word. They can exist in video games. Super Smash Bros., a game that some still consider to be the best Smash Bros, released exclusively for the GameCube back in 2001, and it did not have online play. It was local only, which was amazingly good fun, but you physically had to get 4 people in the same room to play with 4 controllers, which was difficult back then, and now with Corona is basically impossible. If you want to play that game now, you've kind of got 2 choices. You can go and buy an old secondhand GameCube and the game, which is going to set you back quite a bit because they're kind of collector's items now. Or you can emulate it. Now, emulation is basically the process of downloading a program or emulator which runs exactly the same as an old video game console did. Then you download the ROM, which is the game itself, and you can run and play the game on your computer. Now, emulation is not illegal, provided you are only using an emulator of a console you own and downloading a ROM of a game you own. You're allowed to make digital backup copies of physical media that you have the right to use. Now there's another major advancement to that section. The GameCube emulator Dolphin does include online play for Super Smash Bros. And now the add-on Slippy adds what they call rollback netcode, which is a very complicated way of saying it reduces lag. It basically eliminates lag and makes the online gameplay super smooth. So, if you want to play buttery smooth Super Smash Bros. Against someone else somewhere in the world, this is now possible. 3 things in life are certain: death, taxes, and more Star Wars films. Since Disney took over the Star Wars franchise, they have been cranking out Star Wars games left, right and centre. We've had sequels, we've had prequels, we've had extended universe bits. And I often stopped to ask myself, how on earth are Disney finding the time to do this? How are they finding the time to release so much Star Wars content? And then I realised it's because they've just stopped quality checking. They don't care if the plot makes sense or if the film's actually any good, because they know people will go and watch it anyway. Now, Disney and EA are often on the same page about making money, and EA have recently released a statement promising they will make more Star Wars games. Yeah, EA, we know you will. You will crank out Star Wars games until the heat death of the universe. But what we don't know is if they'll be good Star Wars games. You can crank out as many Battlefront 2 loot box surprise mechanics as you want, but when are we going to get Knights of the Old Republic? When are we going to get The Force Unleashed 1 again? Remember, recently we've had several cancelled Star Wars projects, including the gritty, dark, adult bounty hunting game Star Wars 1313, which was going to allow you to exist as a bounty hunter in the underworld of Coruscant. But instead, we got the Baby Yoda show. Now, I'm not saying The Mandalorian is a bad show, but I am saying it is the Baby Yoda show, because memes sell better than gritty, deep, adult stories. Imagine Red Dead Redemption 2 in space. That's what 1313 was going to be, and it is such a shame we didn't get it. Regular viewers will know I love MMORPGs. I've written a RuneScape audio drama, and I'm currently working on charting the complete history of the MMORPG, so when any news about the genre happens, I am immediately excited. Unfortunately, this is the bad type of news. The game Stalker Online has been hacked. And I don't mean hacked as in logging into your friend's Facebook when they left their laptop unattended. I mean fully compromised. 1.2 million unique emails and passwords have been data mined and are now for sale on the dark web. The leak contains usernames, email addresses, passwords, phone numbers, and linked IP addresses. The hackers have even replaced the Stalker Online main page with this image boasting about the breach. A reporter from cybernews.com, in a remarkable display of actual good investigative journalism, did pay to access the database of what they had, and then they could confirm that this breach was indeed real. So if you've ever played Stalker Online, watch out for an absolute ton of spam emails, texts, or calls coming your way. Also consider upgrading your internet security. Okay, on to today's big and most important story. If you've been on Twitter or Reddit recently, you've probably seen quite a few people, mostly women, speaking out and discussing the experience of sexual harassment and sexual abuse within the entertainment industry, from comic book writers and authors and artists to theatre and the arts, all the way to the video game industry. Now, the unfortunate truth about every entertainment industry, and this is especially true within gaming and live streaming, it's run by money, and it's who you know, not necessarily what you know. And more often than not, who you need to know will be a man, and that man knows exactly how much power and influence they have, and they know they can abuse that power and that influence. Now, this tweet from Samantha Wong shows Twitch's official stance on sexual harassment. Then she calls Twitch out for not following their own guidelines. She reported a case of sexual harassment to Twitch, and the company effectively didn't do much. Now, amazingly, a VP of Twitch at the time, Justin Wong, responds to the tweet and explains he did indeed report the case to both HR at the time and the CEO at the time, and they assured him it would be sorted. However, the accused individual was still present and still gaining access to the VIP section of private gaming events because, as Samantha was told, they were a company vice president's uncle and an important game launch partner. Now, the entertainment industry runs on profit, and companies are willing to overlook misdeeds, both moral, ethical, and legal, if the profit is high enough. Now, if that person is enough to the company, they're actually able to sexually abuse and sexually harass people as much as they like. And this culture will only stop when it becomes a bad financial decision for the company to keep that person on board, to keep them on the payroll, when the public opinion of them is so negative and so bad they have no choice but to get rid of them. Now, these brave men and women who are actually speaking out and reporting their experiences so far, they are taking major steps to making this culture shift. They're making it happen, to exposing the truth of the industry and standing up, being counted, and they're showing every regular person a glimpse behind the curtain. They're saying, hey, the entertainment industry, gaming, live streaming, content creation, it's all fun and games, but here's what's actually happening. Here are the men and women taking advantage of their positions of power. And only through continued exposing of these vile people can we make the entire industry a better place. So massive respect to the people who are brave enough to do that. Thanks very much for watching. Continuing on with today's episode, I am not affiliated with effectively any large gaming corporation. I am a Twitch affiliate, but I don't stream there much often. All of my support comes from you guys, my viewers, everyone on Patreon, everyone who watches, comments, likes, subscribes, or shares. You are what allow me to keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you very, very much. And as always, have a great day.